think it's on. I say that at the beginning of all of them, but I'm just never sure. It's always like a weird lag, and then the light comes on, and I don't know. I'm talking to myself, or like to you hypothetical humans in the future who might want to look at strange people's videos on the internet for some reason. Mostly I just wanted to make a video because it's been so long. I haven't had actual real human internet access for a long time. I used to like upload videos occasionally, just like when I could, like the weird like after midnight to 5 a.m. box that my old internet used to fall into. My current internet is not even my internet. It is my friend Amy's internet. She lives in Pittsburgh. She lives here. This thrilling white and green background is part of her apartment. And so I'm currently staying with her. I don't know for how long. I don't know anything really. I'm here just because I work in Pittsburgh now, and it blows like every aspect of it except for the in Pittsburgh part. I'm trying to view that as a positive, and I think for the most part it is. I've had trouble. I mean, I've been alone in the woods for so long that every time I come to a city, I see people and I get really excited. And I'm not a huge people person. Like if you lock me in a room with like a small party or something, I want to go home immediately. But I see people walking around the city, and you have to understand that where I was before, like if you Googled the address, and I've said this to several people, that it just looks like broccoli with like a line through it. I don't even think actually that the Google Maps picture of where I live includes my house, because it's just trees. Like we have a cut space for real. You know, like my parents did actually clean out a small lot to put a house on, but I don't think that Google has bothered going over there to take pictures because they figure fuck all is going on in the middle of the woods, and they are mostly right. So yeah, it's just trees. Thus, like the most people I would see during the day were typically like the women who worked at the post office, because I was at the post office all the motherfucking time, which like for the most part was good. That meant that I was like mailing things out. That meant that people were paying for me to do artwork. But it's still, I mean, it's a very isolating thing. I mean, the whole experience was isolating. I feel like my entire like ability to socially interact with other humans has been compromised. Like I feel like I was at a point and then I was like set back an enormous number of steps, just because I've spent like 2.5 years by myself in the woods, you know, with like my mother. And for a while, you know, until she died, it was just me and my cat. Forever. And not that, you know, my cat was not like deeply precious to me, but obviously that's not interacting with a human, you know, like my cat didn't watch Deep Space Nine. So now I go to cities and I see people and I just get so excited that they're not like middle-aged postal workers. Every time I come to a city, I'm like, oh my god, it's full of beautiful humans. Like I get so excited about people being gorgeous when I am in a city. Even if they're not like the type of people that I usually like think are gorgeous. Like I'm not, it's not like I'm walking around and I think the whole city is full of like Sid. You know, it's just that I'm just like, I feel very like Doctor, as in like Doctor Who about it. Like, oh, humanity is beautiful. It's ridiculous. But I'm like, that's how long I've been alone in the woods. I'm just so happy to see other people that I don't care, you know, what they look like at all. Though, today there was, on my way home, there was a woman with like most of her hair shaved off and like this this rad, like, cadet hat thing, and she was listening to some headphones, and I very nearly rear-ended someone because I was watching her and not the road. And then not a block later, there was a really adorable man with a ponytail. So, it's apparently, like, male-presenting humans with long hair and female-presenting humans with, like, no hair. And I don't know. I've always been really excited about that androgyny thing. So yeah, I'm here. The job is, for people who don't know, because I don't, I know, like, some people have followed, like, since this whole shit went down. The job was a job I did not want. I interviewed for the job and I thought it went abysmally, so I thought there was no way in hell they were ever going to contact me, and I was safe. And again, because I didn't want the job, I was glad of that. Knowing that it was going to be a parole office, having even just been there and visited, I knew it was, like, full of, like, scary dudes who were, like, super hopped up on testosterone all the time. Like, everybody was big and beefy and white and bald and terrifying. So I really didn't want any parts of that. And I, again, with the isolation in the woods thing, I'm gonna say I spent, like, the first year and a half of that isolation in the woods, like, watching, like, Law and Order and Criminal Minds, but also shit like Forensic Files and Who the Fuck Did I Marry, and, like, actual real life crime shows. I ended up, like, scaring the shit out of myself, and I determined from watching all of these that, like, everyone is trying to kill me. And as I say that, I know it's completely fucking irrational, but having watched all those, I'm like, okay, so anytime I meet, like, a super charismatic coworker, he wants to kill me. Anytime, like, some new person, like, charms their way into the office and is the most amazing person ever, they want to swindle all your money, or they want to poison you with food. You're going to be assaulted on the street. Like, that's going to happen. You know, just all of this. Like, I'm absolutely a mess. So on one hand, I'm doing, like, my sparkle Doctor Who humans shit, and on the other, I think I've got a target on my back that says murder me. Like, there's been, like, 3 instances, I think, just this week, where I thought about, wow, what would it be like if I were murdered right now? Like, what would they say? Like, boy, my mother would sure regret telling me to take that job, wouldn't she? And they would say stuff about, like, how tragic it was that I had just started a job and had finally gotten to Pittsburgh and moved out of the woods, and then, you know, like, my promising young artistic career was tragically cut short because I'd been run over in the parking lot of the parole office. So, you know, like, more rational shit. God. So yeah, I work for a parole office, just doing like typing monkey shit, you know. So I'm not arresting anybody, obviously. I'm not doing anything like directly involved with stuff, but I find it I'm not excited about, you know, knowing the kind of content that I'm going to run into. I was told that the woman who had my position before me left because it was, like, overwhelming and horrible, and that my supervisor continued on to say things like, "You would just not believe the type of things that people are capable of. It will blow your fucking mind." She did say fucking because the entire office swears like sailors. The one woman has a Navy tattoo on her leg and proudly brings it up anytime anyone mentions the swearing in the office, so I mean, that's refreshing at least. I can just swear loudly at any time and no one thinks anything of it. I have a bad feeling about the, like, impending levels of misogyny and homophobia, though. So, yeah, there I am. And I'm, like, desperately hoping to get out, like, as soon as possible, because, like, while I don't want the job, somebody probably does, and I'm sure that they would like to get. I mean, it's a lot of work. Even I've done a lot of work this week, just, like, the stuff that they've tried to train me on, and as soon as I leave, they're gonna have to start all over again, and I feel bad about that, because my supervisor is, like, genuinely, like, a fun, nice lady, And I sat and thought to myself, like, okay, if tomorrow, like, a really great illustration-related gig came in, you know, would I leave this job? And, like, because I'm such a fucking sap, immediately I was like, oh, but I'd feel really bad leaving because my supervisor is so nice. Like, fuck that. Fuck that. I've got to stop with the being nice. I keep trying to, like harden myself, just, like, steel myself for the day every day. I guess I want to have, like, I want to have the guts to tell all of, you know, these 40-something dudes who are working at this place, like, no, that shit's not okay. Please stop saying that. They did that thing where when I came in, they said, oh, I hope you're not easily offended. Which I think they think they think that excuses them or something. And, you know, I said to them, I don't have a problem at all with the swearing. I do that every day, all day. Everything else we'll see. I'm hoping then to, like, decorate my desk with the appropriate amount of feminist stuff and see if that just keeps them from saying anything to start with. I really, really want to be more assertive with people about this kind of crap at work. You know, it's much easier to be assertive about this stuff on the internet. But in the presence of, like, actual humans, especially because now I am the lowest of the low on the totem pole at that office, and so, you know, me saying something to someone who's been there for 16 years, like, it's a little presumptuous, especially because I'm on, like, a crazy probation period thing. Normally when you're, like, a state employee, you can, it takes a lot of effort to get fired. My mother is really high up in the environmental program for the state of Pennsylvania, and she has, like, two employees that she comes home and just bitches about all night, every night. She would love to fire them, but the state makes it very, very, very difficult to do this, like, to the point where it almost seems excessive to me. But I'm in the state right now where if I do something, like, they can just let me go. And they have that because they don't want anybody to enter into the it's hard to fire you state, you know, without enough chances to fuck up before they, yeah. I almost wish that I had the kind of personality that would let me fuck up enough that they would just be like, no. But I don't want to have it, you know, be in my history that someone fired me from anything, so we're not doing that. But yes, so here I am, now in Pittsburgh, working at a place that is terrifying, and admiring lots of humans everywhere. Yeah, buddy. It's not quite as entertaining or as fun as many of my other talks, but now you've been updated.